Now, taking a look at our design versus our output, we'll note that the home page, it rendered fully as per the design in Photoshop. So let's just hide the other pages. This is our home page. But if we take a look at the About Us page, and let's take a look at the output. You'll see that it cuts off right under the content, basically like the second column. Now, if we go back to our Photoshop design and we were to actually hide the footer, you'll see that we do have additional content in our About Us page. And what we can do is we can still have this content visible in our output. We'll also take a look at the Contact Us page really quick. You'll see that with the Contact Us, our content actually ends here. But what happens is we have basically some extra white space that we also probably want to remove in the output as well. So let's take a look at the Contact Us. You'll see our additional white space. So more than likely we'll want to remove this content, and for the About Us, we'll basically want to add the extra content and make sure it's visible. So let's see how we do this in Photoshop. So what we're going to want to do is, first off, we're going to want to increase the size of our canvas. Now you can make this an arbitrary size, just basically to make sure that we can see all the content that we have in our height. So let's make this 2500 per se. You'll see that now the additional content within our About Us page, this is our actual background for it, is now visible. So what we want to do basically is just move the footer down so that we can see all the content. Now, whichever way you want to do this, whether you want to select the group and drag it, or if you just want to shift it with your mouse, you can do so. So let's go ahead and let's just make sure it's aligned. Let's zoom in really quick. Okay, so that's pretty much good alignment. So make sure at the bottom there's a little bit of extra space. Now you just want some extra white space at the bottom. This is irrelevant how much white space. Let's just give it some more so we can see it. What we're going to do next is we're basically going to trim the content to remove this white space just so our document is relative to our entire document size. That's inclusive of all the pages. So what we can do next is just go to Image, Trim. Let's use the bottom right pixel color, and we only want to trim away the bottom. So what this will do is resize our document now to match where our footer is placed. Now if we go back to our layers and we were to hide our other pages, you'll see that our index page itself has a fair bit of white space added to it, and this again too will remove in the output. How we do this is we use dynamic content. What dynamic content will do is actually measure the size of the folders rather than the individual layer elements. So this is why we suggest that you use folders throughout. Now you'll see in our index page we have content and section. Content by itself is all that we would need to actually measure the index content, but we have several just to keep it structured and organized. So if we go into our About Us page, you'll see that this too we have it sectioned. So it's going to measure the entire content itself. And if we go to our contact page, you'll see that this too we have it sectioned, and it'll measure our entire content. So let's go ahead and let's export this with dynamic height and let's see how it runs. Now, if we take a look at the output and we go to our HTML5 folder, you'll see that all the content has been loaded and is now restricted to the size of our actual design. So you'll see that it loaded the entire About Us content, and along with contact page now being fully restricted to its actual design in our PSD. So if we go ahead and we take a look at these again, you'll see index, and again this is where it cuts off. This is our About Us page and our contact page.